My girlfriend screamed, "Get out!" when I brought up marriage after 5 years together. I said gladly. Then I moved out that night and left behind the ring I'd been hiding for months, with notes saying, "Dodged a bullet." Her panic calls started when her friends saw my engagement announcement 3 months later with, "I 29 male, I'm a structural engineer living in Chicago. For the last 5 years, I was with my ex. I honestly thought she was the one. I built my entire world around her. We lived in a high-rise downtown that I paid the majority of the rent for because she was trying to get her lifestyle brand off the ground. Spoiler alert, it mostly involved her buying expensive clothes and complaining about algorithm changes. I was a steady paycheck, the emotional anchor, and the guy who fixed everything. I was ready to settle down, buy a house in the suburbs, and start a family. I even had a custom platinum engagement ring with a solitaire diamond hidden in my sock drawer for 3 months, just waiting for the right moment. The night everything imploded was supposed to be a celebration. I'd just gotten a major promotion at work, and I took us out to her favorite high-end steakhouse. I thought the mood was right to at least start talking about a timeline for marriage. But the whole dinner was off. She was glued to her phone, complaining about the lighting being trash for her stories, and barely acknowledged my news. When we got back to our apartment, I decided to just rip the Band-Aid off. I asked her where she saw us in a year, because I was looking at houses, and wanted to know if we were on the same page. She didn't just brush me off. She went nuclear. She threw her phone on the couch, looked at me with this expression of pure disgust, and screamed, "Oh my God! Stop. Get out. I am not having this conversation again. I am not moving to the suburbs to be a housewife right now. You are suffocating me. Just get out. I need space." It wasn't just rejection, it was contempt. In that split second, 5 years of making excuses for her behavior evaporated. She didn't see me as a partner. She saw me as a wallet that was currently annoying her. She pointed at the door and told me to go sleep at my brother's because she couldn't look at me. Something in me snapped. Not in a violent way, but in a way where all my feelings just turned off. I looked at her and said, "Gladly." I walked into the bedroom. She probably thought I was packing an overnight bag to go cool off. Instead, I pulled my large suitcase out. I packed my documents, my laptop, my watches, and a week's worth of clothes. Then I opened my sock drawer and took out the velvet ring box. I walked back out to the kitchen island. She was in the bathroom, loudly complaining to a friend on the phone about how needy and pathetic I was. I placed the ring box on the granite counter. I took a sticky note and wrote 3 words, "Dodged a bullet." I left my house key next to it, walked out, threw my stuff in my truck, and drove to a hotel downtown. Here's the kicker, and probably my finest moment of petty foresight. The ring I left in that box? It wasn't the $12,000 diamond engagement ring. That one was safely tucked away in my bank's safety deposit box. The ring I left on the counter was a high-quality prop replica I bought on Amazon for $40 a few weeks prior to check her ring size while she was sleeping without waking her up. It was sterling silver and cubic zirconia, but to the naked eye, it looked impressive. The next morning, I didn't call her. I called our leasing office. Both our names were on the lease, but I was the only one who actually qualified financially. I told the property manager, who I was on good terms with, that I was breaking the lease. I paid the 2-month penalty fee immediately. Cost me about $5,000, but it severed my legal liability. I sent my ex a text at 10 a.m. I removed myself from the lease and paid the break fee. You have 30 days to requalify for the apartment on your own income or vacate. I won't be coming back. Then I blocked her number. The silence lasted about 4 hours before the emails started flooding in. Since she couldn't text, she emailed me subjects like, "Are you serious?" and "I'm going to sue you for abandonment." I ignored them all. I hired movers to get the rest of my furniture out a week later, while she was at work. I even paid an off-duty cop to stand there and supervise so she couldn't claim I stole her stuff. While I was clearing out the home office, I found her iPad unlocked on the desk. I know I shouldn't have snooped, but after the get-out scream, I needed to know if I was crazy. I wasn't. Her messages revealed she had been seeing a club promoter for 3 months. The texts were brutal. She mocked my job, called me boring, and bragged to him that she was just stalling me until the lease renewal so I'd pay for another year of housing before she phased me out to be with him. That killed any lingering guilt I had. I left the iPad open to that conversation on the counter, so she'd know I knew. A few days later, I got a call from an unknown number. It was her stepsister. Now, in the 5 years I dated my ex, I think I saw the stepsister maybe 3 times. My ex hated her. She called her mousy and made fun of her for being a pediatric nurse and living a quiet life. My ex actively excluded her from family events. The stepsister was panicked. She told me, "I'm not calling to defend her. I'm calling because she's posting insane lies about you on Facebook, saying you abused her and stole her grandmother's jewelry. I know who my sister is, and I know that's not true. You need to screenshot them before she deletes them." I was stunned. We talked for an hour. She was kind, grounded, and actually apologized for how her family had treated me. I took her advice, screenshotted the lies, and had a lawyer friend send a cease and desist letter with proof of the ring receipt, showing I bought it and the cheating texts. The post came down immediately. I met the stepsister for coffee a week later to thank her. It wasn't supposed to be a date, but we sat there for 4 hours. We realized we had been at the same family BBQs for years, but never spoke because my ex kept us apart. We bonded over the shared trauma of dealing with a narcissist. It moved fast, I admit, but when you've been starved of genuine human connection, you recognize it instantly when you find it. We started dating quietly. Meanwhile, my ex's life was falling apart. She got evicted from the apartment because she obviously couldn't prove she made 3 times the rent. She had to move back in with her mother. The club promoter dumped her the second she lost a luxury apartment. She started sending me Venmo requests for moving expenses and therapy, which I denied. Then she tried to play her ace. She went to a pawn shop to sell the ring I'd left behind. I got a call from the police because she caused a massive scene. She tried to pawn the ring, and the broker told her it was worth about $20. She started screaming that I must have swapped the stone and that I was a thief. The cops called me, and I explained the situation perfectly. I sent them the receipt for the $40 Amazon ring and explained that since I never proposed and she never accepted, no contract of marriage existed. I told them I left a piece of costume jewelry behind when I fled a hostile domestic situation. They laughed and closed the inquiry. She looked insane. 3 months after breakup, I knew. It sounds crazy to move that fast, but the stepsister and I just fit. I took the real diamond, the one I had saved for a commitment, not for a specific person, and had it reset into a vintage gold band that actually suited the stepsister's style. I proposed at a cabin in Wisconsin. She said yes. We announced it on social media on a Sunday evening. I changed my status to engaged. The explosion was immediate. My ex went supernova. She showed up at my new townhouse, which I bought solely in my name. 2 hours later, banging on the door and screaming so loud the neighbors turned their lights on. "Open the door! You sick jerk! You were sleeping with my sister the whole time." I told my fiancé to stay back, and I stepped out onto the porch. My ex looked unhinged. "Leave," I said. She pointed a shaking finger at me. "You gave her my ring. That's my ring. You stole 5 years of my life, and now you're with her? The ugly duckling? You did this to spite me." I looked her dead in the eye and said, "I'm with her because she's a good person, and you didn't lose 5 years. You used me for 5 years. I saw the text to the promoter. I know you were waiting for the lease renewal to dump me. You played yourself." Her face went pale. She didn't know I had seen the specific text about the lease. That was just talk," she stammered. "I loved you." "No," I said. "You love what I provided. And regarding the ring, the one you tried to pawn, that's all you were worth to me in the end. A fake." She actually lunged at me, trying to scratch my face. I caught her wrist and told her to get off my property, or I was pressing charges for trespassing and assault. She stormed off, but the damage was done. Her family imploded. Her mother took her side and tried to ban my fiancé from holidays. But the stepdad finally found a backbone. He told his wife that if they punished his stepsister for finding happiness after being treated like dirt by the ex for years, he was filing for divorce. My ex tried to spin the narrative online again, claiming some weird incest angle. We aren't blood related at all, and manipulation. So I posted the screenshots of her conversation with the promoter just once. I captioned it. Since the narrative is confused, she planned to leave me for this man after I secured housing for her. I left first. I found happiness with someone who values loyalty. Please respect our privacy. The public humiliation silenced her. It's been 6 months now. We are getting married next spring. We have a peaceful life. No drama. No screaming matches. No demand for content or expensive trips. My ex is working retail and living in her childhood bedroom because her brand tanked after the truth came out. I realized the get out moment wasn't tragedy. It was a jailbreak. I walked out of a prison I didn't know I was in. Sometimes the best thing you can do is listen when someone tells you to leave, and always keep the receipt for the ring.